Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. The FA Cup this season already served up some huge giant killings with the fourth round here. They'll hopefully offer some more as Oxford United, who sit second bottom in the Championship, host mid-table Premier League side Sunderland at the Kazam Stadium. Oxford are struggling at the wrong end of the Championship and a recent change in manager has not improved form. Matt Bloomfield was brought in at the start of the new year after getting the sack by Luton earlier on this season and has only managed one win from his 7 so far at the U's. He has a huge fight on his hands, but this afternoon's fixture brings a welcome distraction as they look for an FA Cup upset. Something Oxford avoided in the third round when they beat League 2 MK Dons on penalties. Sunderland have been the surprise package in the Premier League, currently sitting 11th, but their away form has been very poor. Just 2 wins from 13 and have only scored 6 goals away from home in the league. And their recent FA Cup form has been something to forget. Before their third round win on penalties to Everton last month, the Black Cats had only won 1 of their previous 9 FA Cup ties. These two were both in the Championship last season and both won a game each when playing at home. Both ended 2-0 with Sunderland winning in October and Oxford winning in April. And the last time these two sides met in the FA Cup, it was a Sunderland win and they came out on top in 1992. And they were eventual finalists that season, losing to Liverpool 2-0 at Wembley. So, for this mid-February Sunday afternoon fixture in the FA Cup fourth round, can Oxford force an upset or will Sunderland reach the fifth round for the first time since 2015? It looks like this season is probably going to go the wrong way for Oxford United. They've tried to change manager midway through this season, bringing in Matt Bloomfield, replacing the previous manager of Gary Rowett, who took charge of 50 games in a year spell at the club. And it does seem like that was a little bit of a unpopular decision to get rid of Gary Rowett, who had kept them up last season when he came into the club. They finished 17th last season, 4 points off relegation. And funnily enough, that last relegation spot was taken up by Luton, who were relegated with Matt Bloomfield, who is now in charge of Oxford United. They are currently 5 points off safety as they currently sit 23rd on 28 points, and it's Sunderland who are 4 points off the European places in the Premier League as they are currently in 11th on 36 points. Not the best of results in the most recent games, losing at home to Liverpool on Thursday, then losing last weekend to Arsenal, and then in between another defeat to West Ham was a win to Burnley at home and then also a win to Crystal Palace as well. But it has been their away form that has been the major worry so far this season for Sunderland. Just 2 wins on their travels in the Premier League, and their last was against Chelsea on the 25th of October, and that was a late win as well. So that's 0 wins in their last 8 in the Premier League away from the Stadium of Light. So hopefully for Sunderland fans that shouldn't really make much of a difference in terms of this fixture against Oxford United, because they are much the better team and they've gone reasonably strong. Sunderland will go through the starting 11 very shortly, and Oxford United just on this poor run of form, just 2 wins from their last 10 in all competitions. They've only won 8 all season, winning in the FA Cup third round to MK Dons on penalties, and their home form this season in the Championship hasn't been great. They've only won 3 from their 16 here at the Kazam Stadium in the Championship, and they've not won here since Boxing Day when they beat Southampton 2-1. So it's a team who are very poor at home playing against a team who are very poor away from home. Like I said, the only difference for Sunderland is they, of course, have got the much better squad, and Regis Lebris, their manager, will be hoping that is what will make the difference today. We'll go through both starting 11s right now. We'll start with the home team, Oxford United, who have actually made 8 changes from their lineup in the midweek game they had when they were beaten 3-0 at home to Norwich City, and their goalkeeper does get the nod today. Matt Ingram comes in for Jamie Cumming. It's a back 4. Right back will be their new signing in the summer from Huddersfield, and that is Brody Spencer. At left back, returning from injury, he's missed the last 4. He comes in at left back, and that is Jack Curry, and 2 centre halves of Kieran Brown and Chris Makosso, who was brought in on loan from Luton Town. He was signed for Luton last January by Matt Bloomfield. Two holding midfielders of captain Cameron Brannigan, who's been at the club now since January 2018. He'll play alongside Will Vaux in the middle. And three behind the striker on the right-hand side will be Stanley Mills, son of Danny Mills, who once played for Leeds and Manchester City. On the left-hand side will be John Jin-woo, their South Korean winger brought in this January window. He made his debut off the bench in their last game against Norwich. Playing in behind the striker will be Jamie Donnelly, who did make his debut against MK Dons in the last FA Cup game for Oxford, and he's not played for them since. He was injured in that third round game, came off after the 17th minute, but after recovering from that shoulder injury, he's back from the start today. And through the middle, leading the line will be Will Lancashire, who was suspended for their last game against Norwich City after picking up a red card in their very impressive 0-0 draw away to Coventry. So it is the 8 changes today for Oxford United. For Sunderland, they've gone strong, but they still have made 6 changes from their lineup against Liverpool on Thursday. It is Robin Roofs to remain in goal. He saved all 3 Everton penalties in their shootout in the third round. It's a back 4. At right back will be Trey Humer. At left back will be Dennis Sirkin. And 2 centre-halves of Luke O'Nien, who scored the winning penalty against Everton in the third round. He'll partner alongside Nordi Mukiele. And there's 2 holding midfielders of Sherelle Gertrude, who was a target of Liverpool towards the end of the January window. He'll play alongside Enzo Lefebvre, who's got 4 goals in all competitions this season, and one of them was in the 1-1 draw against Everton in the third round. Same system to Oxford, so it's 3 behind the striker. On the right-hand side will be Shemsdean Talby. On the left is Romain Mundle. Through the middle, just in behind the striker, is Habib Diarra, signed for £30 million from Strasbourg, just making his 10th appearance for Sunderland. He's missed a couple of months with a groin injury and then also had to go out and play for Senegal at AFCON, winning that tournament. So he comes in, and during his time in France, he did score 1 cup goal. And on through the middle, leading the line, he's kind of been replaced as the number 1 striker at Sunderland. It's been Brian Brobbit, who has been the starter, but Wilson Isidore comes back in. He's got 4 Premier League goals. They all came in the last 9 games, and he's not started in the Premier League since the 6th of December, and he didn't start in the third round against Everton, came off the bench for the last 15 minutes of extra time. So they are the 2 starting 11s, both heavily rotated from their midweek lineups, but both teams really could do with a win, just more for a little bit of confidence. Not like teams need that real boost to get up for an FA Cup game. It's always a special occasion when you play in the FA Cup, and Oxford United will certainly feel like they've not got a lot to lose here. Of course, their main focus will be staying up in the 2nd division of English football. Of course, a cup run would be welcomed. It's always a good distraction, and it also helps the club to bring in some extra funds. So it will certainly be a game that Matt Bloomfield will want to win. Of course, since coming in, Matt Bloomfield's just won 1 of his 7 games in charge, and that was 5 games ago against Leicester City. It was a 2-1 away win, and he actually didn't take charge of the third round game, Matt Bloomfield. He was announced as manager, but it was the day after where he was officially announced. But he was at the ground watching his new team get through on penalties. It is a rather youthful front 4 for Oxford. You've got a 22-year-old Stanley Mills, a 21-year-old Jamie Donnelly, a 26-year-old John Jin-woo, and then a 20-year-old Will Lancashire up front. So there's going to be plenty of pace and plenty of raw ability to see if they'll have enough to try and get through this Sunderland defence. As they are the 2 captains, there's the referee Tom Kirk, who took charge of his first Premier League game a couple of months ago when Crystal Palace went to Burnley and won by a 1-0. He started officiating at the age of 17, and he's just sorted out kick-off and ends with Oxford United captain Cameron Brannigan and Sunderland captain Luke O'Nien. who scored previously against Oxford, the Sunderland captain. It was in a 2-0 away win for Sunderland back in September 2020. And the last time he scored in the FA Cup was a third round winner. It was a 94th minute winner for Sunderland against Shrewsbury in the last time they won in the FA Cup before that victory against Sunderland in the previous round of this season's FA Cup. So it's not a new ground this for Sunderland. They are well aware of what the Kazam Stadium can bring. They were beaten by Oxford United here in April of last year by 2-0. See what result we'll get this time around. There was a pitch inspection for this game, but it seems like we are going to be getting underway, and it will be going ahead, of course. Any rain that happens throughout may change the outcome of if this game will be finished. Hopefully it does. It'll be Sunderland to kick off, kicking left to right, Oxford United right to left, and Oxford United have already won themselves a free kick in a left back position. Jack Curry, the left back, just pulled to the ground there, and there will be a free kick for Oxford United just in front of the 18-yard box, and it'll be taken by their second choice goalkeeper Matt Ingram, who actually played with manager Matt Bloomfield. He was at Wycombe for 6 years, Matt Ingram, and he played 91 times with now his manager. As Oxford go long, it's headed back to Robin Roofs, and it's Sunderland in possession, playing out from the back. As we'll get the timer going, just over a minute in. And there is Regis Labrise, the Sunderland head coach, taking charge of his 80th game this afternoon for Sunderland. Took charge in July 2024. As Ingram clears it down the right-hand side for Oxford, it just runs out of pitch. It'll be thrown for Sunderland midway inside the Oxford United half. And on that far side, it will be left back Dennis Sirkin to take the throw-in. Throws it back to Mukiele, and then back once more here to 09. Not being pressed at the moment, the left centre half, so literally stands still with the ball in front of him. Tries to then take it forward. He's been closed down here by Donnelly, goes down over the challenge, and that will be a free kick for Sunderland. Just needs to be careful when bringing the ball forward there, Luke O'Nien. Doesn't play as much as he once did. Number 13, just his 7th appearance of the season in all competitions. Did play every minute in the third round against Everton, including scoring the winning penalty in the shootout. As they try and play it down the left-hand side towards Mundle, he gets there and pulls it back. It's stopped in its tracks and eventually cleared for Oxford United, only as far as Trey Hume, who's playing it right back today, but he just found himself on the left-hand side. And there's a tackle there on Lafay, and it'll be a throw-in once more for Sunderland, who are trying to assert some early dominance in this game. 32 places above Oxford United in the pyramid are Sunderland, who've won 4 of their last 10 in all competitions. They've won 9, drawn 9 and lost 8 so far in their Premier League campaign. Currently on a run of 3 defeats in a row away from home in the league against Arsenal, West Ham and Brentford. It's Sunderland who are knocking the ball around between their back line at the moment, as Oxford have got everyone behind the ball. It's Mukiele going all the way back to Robin Roofs in a full green kit this afternoon for Sunderland. Back out wide right to Mukiele, who's going to send the ball down the right channel, looking for the run of Talby, headed away but only as far as Diarra for Sunderland, who's trying to go back towards his own goal. He's been tackled, and it's now Oxford United who are on the ball with Curry, the left back, tackle, but the loose ball drops to Brannigan, and they've started again here with Kieran Brown, who's going across to the right back of Spencer. Takes the control touch and then sends it down the right-hand side. It's cut out by the chest of 09. It needed to be met by the centre-half, because if he didn't, that would have left Mills running in behind, through on goal. As we're less than 4 minutes in. Still no big chances here so far at the Kazam Stadium, who are looking to build a new stadium, looking to pay £5.1 million to start building the new ground, which will hold around 16,000 supporters. The Kazam Stadium at the moment currently holds 12.5. This one built in 1997. It's 09 on the halfway line. A big diagonal switch towards Hume on the right-hand side. He's having to chase it down, and he'll get there. No, he won't get there before the ball goes out of play. Throwing right next to the corner flag for Oxford United, as there is their head coach, Matt Bloomfield. Out of the 7 games he's took charge of, there has been 3 draws, and they've all been 0-0 so far, including that impressive one away at Coventry a couple of weeks ago, as Curry, the left back, sends the throwing down the line, header won by Hume, controlled by Lefay, 25 yards out, space to shoot. He's instead gone for the pass into the box to Mundell, towards the byline, gets around his man as Spencer, falls to the ground too easily, according to the referee. Doesn't ask for the penalty there, Romain Mundell, and it will be a goal kick for Oxford United. Just needs to be careful. Brodie Spencer, the right back, as he got around him pretty well there, Mundell, and they just collided together, but not enough contact for a penalty at all. And like I said, the Sunderland winger wasn't expecting one from the referee, Tom Kirk. It's going to be a long goal kick by Matt Ingram for Oxford United, up towards Lancashire, who chests it down and helps it on. That's brilliant. And here's John, the South Korean winger, who's in the box, but he's having to get away from the box to keep it away from Talby. Spins and crosses, header away by Mukiele, all as far as Brannigan. And it will be Oxford United start on the halfway line with Makosso to Curry, the left back, try to head inside towards John. But it's cut out, and it's now brought forward by Hume, trying to go into the middle, goes behind Lefay. And it's met by Sirkin, whose touch finds Hume in a central area in the centre circle. Bullied off the ball there by Will Volks. And it'll be Oxford United on the ball towards the halfway line. Starting again with their right centre half tonight of Chris Makosso. Has played 26 times now under Matt Bloomfield, as he was signed by him for Luton Town, and then being brought here on loan from Luton's John breaks with the ball in the area. The angle's tight on the left-hand side, having to go back to Curry, who tries to cross it. It deflects off Talby, back to Curry. Lays it off for Brannigan on the edge of the area, thinking about a shot. Plays it forward to Donnelly instead, who runs into traffic of Lefay. And Sunderland can try and break, dinking the ball out towards the left-hand side. It'll be swept up here by Makosso, who will send it back to his goalkeeper. Now, there's plenty of time on the ball here for Matt Ingram, who did save the final penalty in their shootout against MK Dons to go through to the 4th round. And he sends it long up towards Lancashire. He's battling with Mukiele. Needs help from 09, who will get across and get the clearance away from goal for Sunderland. Straight back into Oxford possession. Well brought down there by Makosso. It's now with Spencer, the right back, just inside the Oxford United half. As it's been a decent start for the home side. Sunderland probably took charge of the opening couple of minutes, but they've grew into the game, the Championship side. We've already lost 17 games so far this season in all competitions, 8 of them here at the Kazam Stadium, including a 6-0 defeat in the League Cup second round to Brighton and Hove Albion. So they have already been humbled by Premier League opposition already this season. The U's, as they've still got the ball here, midway inside their own half. Makosso across to Brown, the centre half, who's been given a poor ball to deal with, but he's kept it away from Diarra. And still Oxford with the ball, sending it down the left-hand side up towards Lancashire, touches it into Brannigan, who goes back to Volks, tries to quickly sweep it out towards the right-hand side. It's a high ball towards Mills, who heads it down the channel, can't quite keep it in touch, and it will be a throw-in in a left-back position for Sunderland, taken quickly to Luco Knight. It will go to his goalkeeper, Robin Roofs, who's yet to pick up a cap for the Netherlands, but he has been called up for the last 3 international breaks now. So it does seem like he's found his spot in the national team setup, but still not finding his way into the starting 11. Got a battle for that number 1 spot with Verbruggen, the Brighton goalkeeper. There's Mundell down the left-hand side. He's surrounded by yellow shirts, but he's able to keep it away from the Oxford midfield and play Lefay, whose touch was slightly heavy, but he did get there ahead of Donnelly. And that will be a free kick for Sunderland. Kind of forced the foul himself, Lefay, with the heavy touch, and it did allow Donnelly to go and try and nick the ball. He had every right to go for it, just got there slightly late. Nothing more than a free kick, and it's Sunderland who will be looking to try and get an early goal just to settle any nerves, because Oxford United will fancy this game against Sunderland, beating them here last season by 2 goals to 0. Just over 9 minutes in, still waiting for that first big chance of the game. It's going to be put into the box by Trey Hume. who's going to deliver it with some curl. It's gone beyond the head of Sirkin, but there's a foul in there, I think, by Mukiele as the ball was delivered in, so it'll be a free kick for Oxford United. The striker, Will Lancashire, the one going down, brought in on loan in the summer from Spurs after a pretty unsuccessful loan spell he had last season in the second half of the campaign with West Brom, not scoring in 11 Championship appearances for the Baggies. But he did feature 6 times last season for Spurs and their first team. He actually scored and got sent off in a Europa League away game to Galatasaray as he chases a long ball here into the box, and it's caught there by Roofs, who can throw it into the middle here to Lefay. Goes back to 09, now to the left back, Sirkin, about 15 yards away from the halfway line. Lays it off to his right once more to 09, who signed a 2-year contract extension this summer, making his 321st appearance for the Black Cats. He's been sent off 5 times in his career for Sunderland as a ball's nodded down by Isidore. Diarra wanted the free kick on the edge of the area, not given, thought he was pulled down, and Spencer, the right back for Oxford, will just get rid, but it can't quite reach Mills. It'll be a throw-in for Sunderland just inside their own half with Dennis Sirkin, former England under-20 international, the left back, but was born in Dublin to Latvian parents, but he moved to London at the age of 3 and came through the Tottenham Academy. That's the club he joined Sunderland from. It's 09 on the halfway line. Playing it forward in between the lines. It's a good ball here to Sirkin. Then through for Isidore in the box. Too much on it. It's well tackled there by Makosso. And then cleared down the line, but only as far as Lefay. Didn't get as much distance as he would have wanted to. The Oxford United number 37. It's now Mukiele. Try to play the ball towards Diarra. Cut out on the edge of the box by Brown. Cleared forward towards Lancashire. It's Mundell. Playing it back to Gertrude. Touches heavy from himself, but he can play it down the line to Lefay. Then lays it off for Sirkin. Forward from full-back. Back down the line for Lefay. Being forced to the corner flag here by Donnelly. Lefay into Mundell. Driving into the area. Almost skipping past one, but his touch was heavy and it's been took off him, and Oxford United will clear and it'll give John something to chase it. The South Korean winger. He won't get there at a Hume, and he's claiming he didn't catch the right back, but the referee said he did. And that'll be a free kick for Sunderland. Just a little bit of pressure there on Trey Hume by John Jin-woo. South Korean winger brought in from Jeonbuk Hyundai in the South Korean K-League. His team actually won the title by 14 points in the 2025 campaign. As Talby on the right wing gets a ball across towards Isidore. First shot is blocked, and the second one, it's the side netting. Angle was tight, about 6 yards out. Will be a goal kick. First half chance of the game, and we're over 12 minutes in. Ball played down the right channel, and Talby got it across first time. First shot was blocked by Makosso, and the second attempt hit the side netting. The goalkeeper, Ingram, did close the angle. And if it was on target, he probably would have been in the way. But it's Isidore's first sniff at goal. Did start the last fixture between these two back on the 26th of April in Oxford United's 2-0 win over Sunderland. It was a loss that was a part of Sunderland's 5 defeats in a row before their playoff campaign. It's what makes their promotion even more impressive. The fact they came into that game in such bad form. It is Oxford United with the goalkeeper, Matt Ingram. Long ball forward, too much on it, and Hume heads it towards his own goalkeeper. Just about reaches Robin Roofs, but Lancashire was there ready to pounce if the back pass was slightly short. As they're setting up in a 4-4-2 shape here, Oxford United, when they're without possession, with Lancashire and Donnelly being the 2 strikers, with Mills and John as the 2 wingers, and Volks and Brannigan as the 2 central midfielders. Sunderland are going to try the right-hand side with Hume. His touch cannons up into the air, and he can nod it forward towards Diarra, loses out to Curry. It's now Brannigan, Volks to Curry at left-back, and Oxford United have won the ball back, and Matt Bloomfield will be more than happy with his team's start to this game. It's not the first time he's took on a Regis Lebris Sunderland side. He travelled with Luton to Sunderland last season, But it was Sunderland who won by 2-0 just over a year ago now, that fixture, on the 12th of February 2025. It's the only time these two managers have ever faced one another. Sunderland have it on the halfway line with Lefay. Quite spectacular signing for Sunderland, brought in for the second half of last season on loan and then brought in permanently for £19 million from Italian giants Roma, as it's been fed out to the left-hand side to Mundle, who's crossing it towards the back post. It's a decent delivery. Will reach Hume, who can control and cross it himself. It deflects. It's headed up in the air and then headed away by John, but only as far as Lefay, who turns away from one man and plays it out to the right side here to Hume. He's got the overlap of Diarra. Still with Hume, just outside the area. Try to lift it down towards the byline to Lefay. Headed won by Curry and then played out of play by Talby. And just 15 minutes in, it's Oxford United 0, Sunderland 0. And it will be a throw-in for the home side. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in. If you could like and subscribe if you haven't already, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I think we have got another commentary coming up next week, and it is going to be Sheffield derby, Sheffield United against Sheffield Wednesday. That's next Sunday. I think it's an early kick-off on Sunday, I'm pretty sure. It's Ingram, sends it long for Oxford United up towards Lancashire, who does win the header but sends it back towards his own goal, where it's been brought down by Talby to Lefay in the centre circle. Slows the game down and then faces forward. He's got a couple of options left and right, keeps it simple to Sirkin. Returns it to Lefay, about 10 yards inside the Oxford United half. It's now Gertrude, their number 6, on loan from Leipzig. Puts it forward to Isidore. Can't hold it up on Makosso. He's had a good start to the game so far, the Congo centre-half. It's now with Volks. Forward to Brannigan. Takes it on the turn very nicely and sends it to the left there to John Jinwoo. On the left-hand side, he's got the overlap of Curry. He is right-footed, the South Korean, so does like to cut in. It's been played here to Curry, the left-back, who will cross it into the 6-yard area. Easily caught by Robin Roofs. And that'll be Sunderland back in possession. He's going to kick it out of his hands here, the Dutch goalkeeper, but it's slightly short and it's chested down by Spencer. Calmly done by the right back. And it's now with Brown into Volks. Brannigan on the halfway line. Try to lift it over the top here for John, who will reach the ball before the goalkeeper. He's having to hold it up in the box, but the flag's gone up actually on the South Korean, and it will be a Sunderland free kick. Looks lively on that left-hand side. John Jinwoo making his first ever start for the club since his arrival in the January window. Sunderland in their own half with their left centre-back, Luco Knight. Plays it across to Nordi Mukiele. Just the one French appearance in his career, and it was a late substitute appearance against Finland back in September 2021 as a loose ball towards Talby is dropped to an Oxford United player, and they can try and play out from the back here. They've gone all the way to their goalkeeper, Matt Ingram, who's in a full black kit tonight with the name and number in a gold colour. Goes to his left here to Kieran Brown, the Northern Irish international. Started their last game, which was a 1-0 win against Luxembourg in November, as a long ball which is directed, reached Lancashire and the flag does stay down. Tries the cross, deflects back to him on the right-hand side, plays it back to Mills, into the area. Chance here for Oxford. The strike goes towards goal, punched away by Roofs. It drops here for Mundle, who will try and break for Sunderland. Flicks over the head here of Spencer. They're battling one-on-one, and Mundle will get away with the ball. Slows it down, then cuts inside. It's a brilliant run from Mundle, who's now in the area, surrounded by yellow shirts. He gets the shot across goal. Always going wide, but that's going to be a real battle on that far side of the pitch in this first half. Mundle coming up against Spencer, and the left winger got the better of the right full-back there. But it was Oxford with their first half chance of the game, their first real sniff at goal. Jamie Donnelly with the strike in the area, but it was just straight at Robin Roofs. Created a moment of magic in the FA Cup last season. Jamie Donnelly, during his loan spell at Leyton Orient, didn't actually go down in his goal, but you might remember Leyton Orient's goal against Manchester City when he hit it from, I think, just within the Manchester City half, and it looped over Ortega, hit the bar, came off the German goalkeeper and then into the back of the net, so it did go down as a Stefan Ortega own goal in the end, but the confidence to take it on was something to admire. As we're just less than 20 minutes in here at the Kazam Stadium. It's still Oxford 0, Sunderland 0. Both teams with half chances so far. As in one of the other fourth round games that kicked off at 2 o'clock. It's Stoke City 1, Fulham 0. Birmingham are still 1-1 with Leeds. They scored in the 89th minute to equalise in that one. And then we're obviously 0-0 here, and also 0-0 between Grimsby and Wolves, and that game's at half-time as that kicked off at 1:30. Ball played out of touch there by Gertrude, looking out to the Sunderland left, and it'll be a throw-in for Oxford United with their right-back Brodie Spencer to take, also a Northern Irish international. Has been sent off for his country, though. That was back in June 2025 in a home game against Iceland. Making just his second ever appearance in the FA Cup, Brodie Spencer. Didn't feature in the third round game against MK Dons. Donnelly there, fouled, and it's now Oxford who are on the ball on this near side. John Jinwoo playing it back here to the number 8, Cameron Brannigan, who grew up, raised in Salford, but spent 17 years at Liverpool. Making 9 appearances for the first team, 3 of them in the Premier League, playing up against West Brom, Watford and Swansea. Never scored, though, in his previous 9 career appearances against Sunderland. As it's still with Oxford United, going up to this left-hand side to John, the number 32. About 25 yards from goal, onto his left foot. He goes for an early ball in, to slightly overhit, and it will be kept alive on the far side by Stanley Mills, who's running at Sirkin, gets it through the legs of the fullback. Mills, across it goes, blocked by O'Nien, and it will loop out for a corner. A very cheeky piece of play there by Stanley Mills, nutmegging his fullback. And he just didn't quite get the ball right. He went low towards the near post, and it was well read by O'Nien. Right through the legs. That is proper winger play from the number 17. He's been at the club permanently now since January of last year. Did have a 6-month loan spell in the 23-24 season. As they've gone short from the corner, then eventually delivered in, and it's been left so Roofs can catch. As it will be Sunderland back on the ball. Sirkin thought about heading it at the near post, but he must have heard a shout from his goalkeeper to leave it. And Roofs caught comfortably. And we're just less than 22 minutes in, still goalless. Both teams have probably had a half chance each. Isidore for Sunderland, and then just after that, Donnelly tested the gloves of Roofs. As they try and play out from the back here, the Black Cats, who have made 4 FA Cup finals in their history. Their last being 33 years ago, when they lost 2-0 to Liverpool, and during that run they actually knocked out Oxford United in an away game. And that was in the 4th round as well. Finished Oxford 2, Sunderland 3 on the 5th of February 1992. And for Oxford United, their best run in the FA Cup was to the quarter-finals back in 1964, when they were beat by Preston North End, but they became the first team to reach the quarter-finals of the FA Cup as a 4th division side. As if they want to reach the 5th round this afternoon, they'll have to do some defending. And they know that. They're currently camped in their own half at the moment as Sunderland play it forward, flicked by Lefay, cut out by Makosso, who's then tripped by Hume. And that'll be a free kick for Oxford United. He's played very well so far in this first half as Oxford try and go long towards Stanley Mills on the right-hand side, touching it into the area. He's got the better of O'Nien for now, holds it up. Donnelly takes over, Lancashire takes over with the shot, and it's deflected out to the left. It'll be kept in here by John Jinwoo. 1-on-1 with Diarra. Back into Curry, the left-back, who gets around Talby. Delivers it into the 18-yard box, volleyed by Gertrude. And Oxford can come again. Controlled by Brown, the centre-half. Into the middle to Volks. Brannigan just inside the centre circle. It's now Sunderland's turn to defend. Brannigan on this near side. Into John. Volks, who went to pass it but didn't quite release it in time. Isidore's took it off him, and then Isidore's bundled to the ground by Brannigan. And that'll be a free kick on the halfway line for Sunderland. Just caught on his toes there, Will Volks, the former Sheffield Wednesday midfielder. Was once a Welsh international, has not played for his country since March 2022. just went through the back of Wilson Isidore there, Cameron Brannigan. Did miss their third round FA Cup exit last season, the captain Cameron Brannigan, when they were beaten 3-1 away by Exeter. It's Sunderland trying to feed it towards the left-hand side. Gertrude then instead goes for a shot of his own, about 30 yards out. That's high, that's very wide, and it's not the best of attempts there by Lucharel Gertrude, who's yet to score for Sunderland. His last goal was in October 2024 for RB Leipzig in a home game against Freiburg. 10-hour round trip on the roads for those Sunderland supporters. And they'll be wanting to go back home with a spot in the 5th round. Not reached the 5th round since 2015. Long ball by Ingram for Oxford United. Headed down by Hume to Talby on this near side. Kicks it off Curry. That'll be throwing in their own half here for Sunderland, who've only won 2 of their last 10 in the Premier League, winning against Burnley and Crystal Palace at home. Losing 4 as well, which have all come in their last 6 league games. Did at one point reach the top 4 of the Premier League table, Sunderland. They've not been there since the middle of November. But still, to be sat in 11th is a very good season so far for Regis Lebris, who's made the Stadium of Light a fortress in the Premier League, and that's what home teams need to do when they come up to the Premier League. They've got to have good home form, and it's a good job Sunderland have, because their away form has been absolutely no good at all. Picking up 10 points so far in the Premier League away from home, from a possible 39. Hume plays the free kick down the right-hand side for Lefay, cuts it back for Diarra, who shoots, and it's deflected, takes the pace out of the shot. Comfortable save down low left there for Ingram. Looking for another goal in Sunderland colours. Habib Diarra scored a couple of weeks ago now in their win to Burnley at the Stadium of Light. His Lancashire isn't quite strong enough, and it's not going to be a free kick for Oxford United as they went long. Looking to go a bit more direct when they can. The home side as Lefay breaks away on the Sunderland left-hand side. He's got Mundell ahead of him. He drives into a central area instead. Almost overruns it. Just about keeps it alive here, the Frenchman, who's then eventually brundled to the floor. And that's going to be a free kick, despite the protest from Cameron Brannigan and Jamie Donnelly. A little bit of a roulette. Twice a roulette. Was tripped there by Donnelly. Probably the right decision from the referee there. As it's Gertrude, the one who pulled down Lancashire. I don't think that's a free kick as well. Went down a bit too easily there, the Tottenham loanee. 2 Tottenham loanees in the Oxford starting 11, with Jamie Donnelly and Will Lancashire. Just about to reach the 28th minute, and there's 4 players in discussion of this free kick. 09 stood there with Lefay and Mundell as well. There is Matt Bloomfield. Having a look at the iPad on the touch screen. He's been joined at Oxford United by Mike Dodds, who had an unsuccessful managerial spell replacing Matt Bloomfield at Wycombe. That's where Matt Bloomfield kind of made his name, not just as a player, but as a manager. Left them for Luton when he didn't quite have the success he wanted, got relegated, and then has now ended up back in a job a couple of months later now with Oxford United. It's about 30 yards out, this free kick, and Lefay might fancy having a dig at this. He's certainly got the ability to do it. Does he have the capability? Just towards the left-hand side, so it is suited for a right footer. He sends it over the crossbar. Too much on it, no dip at all for Enzo Lefay. And it'll be a goal kick for Oxford United. Probably expected to be tested there, Matt Ingram, but had nothing to worry about in the end, as this is the 4th time these two sides have met in the FA Cup. Of course, they've not met since that 92 4th round fixture, but they also met twice in the 1989 3rd round. It was a 1-1 draw at the Stadium of Light in January 89, and then the replay, Oxford United won by 2-0. Oxford were beaten though in the next round after that, getting beaten by Manchester United away. Goals from Hughes and Bruce and Robson as well. in that defeat. Less than half an hour in, Oxford United on the ball. They're going to go for a ball into the box here by Makosso, caught by Roofs. Confident goalkeeping there by the 23-year-old. Lefay into Mundle on the left wing towards the halfway line. Lays it off for Sirkin, the left back. Lefay. Born in Lorient in France and came through their academy. Was there between 2008 and 2023. But he's had 3 clubs now since 2023. Enzo Lefay. As it's Mundle on the far side. Skips away from Mills. But has to play it back to 09. Gertrude, everyone behind the ball here for Oxford United. Forward to Mundle and out wide to Lefay. Trying to play it into Sirkin in the area. Receives the ball, but he's got his back to goal. Trying to twist and turn to find a cross. There's a foot that goes in. And there's a penalty that's been given. After having such a positive start to the game. Chris Makosso fouls Dennis Sirkin in the area. And the penalty's been given. Oh, he just times it wrong. The centre-half. Body feinting. Dennis Sirkin just trying to get a bit of space. And he just gets the touch away from the defender and then gets caught. And it is a penalty, but it's a very cheap one. Didn't need to dive in the way he did. He was right towards the byline, forcing him away, almost earning himself a goal kick there. Chris Makosso, but couldn't help himself but have a nibble. And he's bit too more than he can chew. And he's given away the penalty kick. And it's a gift for Sunderland, who haven't really created a lot of opportunities in this game. Not really tested Matt Ingram so far. But there's a chance it. And it'll be Habib Diarra to take it. The 22-year-old who will take the responsibilities from 12 yards out. Right footed. It's a slow run up. And he slots it into the bottom right corner, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way. And Sunderland lead, trying to avoid an FA Cup upset. It's Habib Diarra calmly slotting the penalty home. And they've had to work hard for the lead, but they've got it eventually. It's Oxford United 0, Sunderland 1. Habib Diarra with the goal. He was looking towards the left side of the goal. Gave the goalkeeper the eyes. He slotted it the opposite direction. And it's 1-0 here at the Kazam Stadium. And it's just frustrating for Oxford United, especially for Chris Makosso, who's been brought in on loan from Luton in January. He started really well. Both centre-backs, him and Kieran Brown, looked really assured of themselves as a pairing coming up against Wilson Isidore, but just couldn't help himself but try and tackle and take the ball away from Sirkin in the area, caught the full-back, and I think the penalty was rightly given by the referee, Tom Kirk. It's Sunderland who lead, but Oxford United won't think that's game over because they've been well in this game as Lefay goes late there on Brannigan. It's just a yellow card for the Frenchman. Nothing more to give. Of course, no VAR in any of these games in the 4th round. Bit of battling in the midfield and eventually dropped to Brannigan. Lefay just went in late, sliding in. If that boot is any higher, it might be a red, but his boot did catch Brannigan's boot, which was on the floor. So he's just got away with that, Enzo Lefay. Turned 26 at the start of this month. So in the game between Birmingham and Leeds, it looks like that might go to penalties. Currently in the 121st minute. Still 0-0 as well between Grimsby and Wolves, who have just restarted for the second half. So free kick just in front of the halfway line here for Oxford United. They're going to take this as a chance to try and get this as close to the 18-yard box as possible. It's going to be Donnelly to take it left-footed. I think Donnelly might be waiting for the referee's whistle hit. It's still not been taken. Gets the thumbs up. And the ball will be delivered into the 18-yard box. It's just a bit too high there for Mills. and it will go straight out for a goal kick for Sunderland. Came through the Everton Academy. Stanley Mills firstly started at Leeds, one of his dad's former clubs. And then from Leeds went to Everton, spent the last 7 years there. Making his 70th appearance now for Oxford United. Was here on a 6-month loan spell a year or so before signing permanently last season. He's got the 2 league goals so far. He scored in their last home win on Boxing Day against Southampton. Sunderland go long themselves, can't be controlled by Isidore. Cleared forward up towards Lancashire, who can bring the ball down here. And play it to Curry, the left back. It's now John. Trying to get around the outside of Hume, but he's been bundled to the ground, and I'm guessing that's been given as a free kick. I'd hope so. It's a yellow card. Yeah, Trey Hume in the book. Signed a 5-year contract extension in August last year. Obviously seen as a long-term part of Sunderland's rise as they continue to try and better themselves, eyeing up Europe potentially for next season. But the ball had gone past him and he just decided to block off the run of John Jinwoo. And on this near side it'll be an Oxford United free kick, about 40 yards from goal. So it's a chance for a cross that goes in by Brannigan, header on the edge of the area by Isidore. It'll be kept alive here by Curry, who has to go back to his goalkeeper Ingram, who kicks it forward first time. Sunderland defence have to backtrack as 09 stops it and can play it forward on the edge of the area. Calmly done by 09. It's now with Sirkin at left back. Got 9 minutes left of this first half. Oxford United 0, Sunderland 1. Separated by a penalty scored by Habib Diarra. Let's switch on towards Talby on this near side. He can't get it under control and he's been pretty poor in this opening 36 minutes. Shemsdeen Talby, the Moroccan, brought in from Club Brugge in the summer. Made one substitute appearance at AFCON for Morocco in the group stage against Zambia. Not quite been his day so far as Oxford United lose out as the throw-in tried to be flicked inside by Lancashire, but it didn't reach a Oxford United player. It's now on the halfway line with left-back Sirkin into the centre circle now with Gertrude. Plenty of time on the ball here for the Dutchman, who will go back out to the right to Hume. Trying to go into the box towards Lafay. Deflects, and it's been controlled by Lafay with a flick into Diarra, who chops in and keeps it away from Curry for now. Been forced out of the box. It's now with Talby into Lafay, who gets the touch. Can he go for the shot? He'll go for the pull back instead. Well intercepted by Spencer. And Oxford United just holding on at the moment. If they go down by 2, that'll be a big ask for the Championship side as they try and play out from the back. Lancashire caught out in possession by Mukiele. Sunderland have it back in their defensive line. Probably should have done better with that there. Sunderland, Enzo Lafay breaking away free in the box. 09. Not being pressed at the moment. Plays it across to his centre-back partner of Mukiele. Spent the last season on loan at Leverkusen before his permanent move here to Sunderland for £12 million from PSG. '09. Trying to play it down the left-hand side into the space. Isidore will come across to try and keep it in, but he can't. And in the right-back position, that'll be for throwing for Oxford United. Looks like it'll be taken by the Belfast-born right-back, Brodie Spencer. Oh, they ended up having 2 shots on target in their defeat to Liverpool on Thursday night. Sunderland, in fairness, Liverpool didn't do too much better. Despite having 22 shots, only 3 of them ended up on target in the end for Liverpool, but one of them went in the back of the net, and that's what got them the 3 points. It's Mundell in a left-back position, being pressured by Volks, shoved to the ground. Will Volks can't believe that's gone against him, and that'll be a free kick in a left-back position for Sunderland. He's probably been their best player so far in this game, Romain Mundell. Been at the club now for 2 years. Brought in from Standard Liège for £2 million. Before that came through the Spurs Academy. Made his 50th appearance last time out against Liverpool as the referee Tom Kirk gets another yellow card out. Got his Cheshire FA badge on. And he does yellow card. Will Volks, not for the foul, but for, I think, the words he's used after the free kick's been given. 6 minutes left, still 1-0 to Sunderland. No cup upset at the moment. There's 32 places separate these two. Circuit midway inside the Oxford half. He's been closed down by Spencer. Finds the ball back to Gertrude, but gives it away to Volks. Tries to feed the ball down the right-hand side for Donnelly. Keeps it away from Lefay. Then in behind here for the run. Oh, with Lancashire, who can't quite get there ahead of Mukiele, who plays the ball forward to Mundle. Keeps it in and then tripped, and that's going to be another free kick. Stanley Mills asking how. Is that a free kick? That's two very important free kicks he's won there in a dangerous position, Romain Mundle. Because if Sunderland lose possession in those areas in their defensive third, it just means they have to concentrate quickly to defend their own goal. As it has gone to penalties between Birmingham and Leeds. And it's 2-1 to Birmingham on penalties. All penalties have been scored so far, so no one's missed as of yet. As Makosso heads away for Oxford United, headed back forward by Hume. Headed away by Spencer at right back. Mills trying to keep it for the U's, and he does, and he lines it for Donnelly, who tries to go in behind for Lancashire. Can he get there ahead of Mukiele? He can't. Well battled between the two, but it's 09 to bring the ball away for Sunderland. Diarra, the goal scorer. Goes back to Roofs in the corner of the box now. Goes out of the box with his left-footed touch. Clears up the field. It's long into the Oxford half. Headed forward by Makosso. Volks restarting with his goalkeeper. Certainly will feel like they're still in this game, Oxford United, especially with the scoreline being at 1-0. Just got to try and avoid conceding that second, because that'll be a mountain to climb as Ingram goes long. Lancashire can't win the header, but the loose ball drops to Brannigan. Spreads it out wide right here to Mills. He's going to run at Sirkin. He's already got the better of him once. He gets the better of him again. Mills in the area, drops to the floor, gets back up, kicks it off 09. And I'm guessing that's been given as a corner, and it has. Stanley Mills, when he's been played through one-on-one against Sirkin, he's got the better of him both times. Just slightly lost balance. Definitely not a penalty, but a good sliding challenge from 09. Conceding the corner, but stopping Mills. Try to square the ball in the area. And it's going to be a left-footed in-swinger from that far side by Jamie Donnelly. Both of his Oxford United appearances so far have been in the FA Cup. Got injured on his debut against MK Dons with a shoulder injury, and he's only just returning now for this game. In-swinger, it's a deep one. Header won by Hume. He leapt up well there. Headed so far as Brannigan, who kicks it towards goal, blocked by Hume. Ball in the air, headed back by Volks. I think he meant to head it forward, but dropped in the end nicely for Brannigan, who curls it into the area. It deflects out towards the Oxford left-hand side. It's hooked away for Sunderland. And it's been chested down by Curry. That's a great touch. Played down the line towards Brannigan, asking too much of his captain. Oh, and then Brannigan. Bit of afters here with the goal scorer, Diarra. And I think it's going to be diffused rather quickly. It's going to be just a quick talking to with Brannigan and Diarra. Obviously, Brannigan feeling a sense of frustration, as I think Oxford United probably feel they've had a few decisions go against them so far. Certainly not the penalty. The penalty was definitely a foul, as Makosso fouled Sirkin in the box. Handshake between the two. And on we go in this FA Cup fourth round tie. Well, big news coming out of Sunderland on Friday morning. Their sporting director, Christian Speakman, left on Friday morning. He was appointed in December 2020, and in their club statement, Sunderland described him as a key figure. So it's going to be a big loss that for Sunderland, because he would have been the one who was in charge of the squad and transfers and who comes in and who comes out, because their summer transfer window was probably the best of any team in the Premier League. So constant change happening at Sunderland as Oxford United are back underway, switching the ball out to Spencer, forward from right back. That's a great ball by Brown. Spencer with the cross. I don't think it'll quite go for a corner. It is a throw-in though, right next to the corner flag for Oxford United. Almost the first time he's got forward from right back there, Brodie Spencer. looks like Will Volks will line up a long throw. And he will do. It's a long throw into the box. Well into the box, and the head has been met and put just wide by Makosso. Felt like that ball was in the air forever. And then once it eventually dropped into the 18-yard box, Makosso wins the header. Got in between Mukiele and another Sunderland man and headed it towards the far post, just a yard or so wide. Headed it right on the 6-yard line of the 6-yard box. Just couldn't quite work it on target, the man who conceded the penalty. And it remains Oxford United 0, Sunderland 1 as we were about to hit the 45th minute. Sunderland go long, hooked away by Oxford. Can't be kept alive by Lancashire. 2 minutes added on here at the Kazam Stadium. It's Robin Roofs. Big kick forward towards the Sunderland left-hand side where Spencer will reach it first and head it back to his goalkeeper. Well done there by Brodie Spencer. And it's going to be Ingram, the goalkeeper, kicking out of his hands. A big kick straight to Lancashire, who chests it to Donnelly. Brannigan. Towards Donnelly. Can't quite keep it alive. Lefay nicks in. Plays it to Mundle. Tackled fairly by Spencer. Mills getting around Lefay, but not getting the better of Sirkin this time around. Throwing for Oxford United once again in the final third, so it will be another opportunity for a long throw-in by Will Volks. As Leeds United go through on penalties against Birmingham, winning 4-2 on penalties. Birmingham missing their final 2 spot kicks, Tommy Doyle and Patrick Roberts. There's Lefay, just holding his elbow there as he was a part of that battle on the far side of the pitch as the throw goes in again. It's glanced away, then volleyed by Talbot. Straight to Curry. He'll try and put it back into the box for Oxford. It loops up in the air, headed on by Spencer, stopped by Mukiele, lifted out wide by Brannigan. John with a header inside. Bit of head tennis going on. Eventually drops to Brannigan, who will kick it from afar. Drops in the area, cleared by Sunderland, not very far. Here's Mills. Can't get away from Gertrude. As Gertrude loses out to Makosso. Good footwork there to get away from Mundle. Makosso needing to release it, can't do so, runs into traffic. Tries to win it back off Diarra. And eventually it's a foul given against Makosso, bringing down Mundle, who again wins another free kick. And it's 2 minutes added on that's been played. And I'm sure we'll get the half-time whistle very shortly from the referee, Tom Kirk. Still, Sunderland fans will be happy for now. Their team lead, and they are going through to the 5th round of the FA Cup for the first time since 2015. And the ball goes long from the free kick, and as it was in the air, the referee blows for half-time. And here at the Kazam Stadium, it's Oxford United 0, Sunderland 1. It's been a very scrappy game throughout. Oxford United have been well in it, getting a few shots away, one of them on target, which stung the gloves of Robin Roos from Jamie Donnelly. Before that, Isidore had a half chance hitting the side netting from 6 yards out. But the goal came from a penalty conceded by Chris Makosso, who in the corner of the box towards the byline just could have shepherded it out. Didn't really have to put a foot in, but felt like he could have nicked the ball, and he didn't. Dennis Sirkin just touched it away from the centre-back, who then put the foot in, and he caught his man. And it was a foul rightly given by the referee, and a penalty was given. And from 12 yards out, very calmly, Habib Diarra just rolled it into the bottom right corner, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way. But it's been a scrappy game. There's been a bit of long ball, but Oxford are well in this so far, and they'll believe that going into the half-time break. But at the moment, they do trail, as it is at the moment. Oxford United 0, Sunderland 1. So that is the half-time score as it stands. It's not been the prettiest of games, but at least it's been more of an even game than it could have been. Sunderland still showcasing their struggles away from home. It's not been a dominant performance at all. Oxford United well in this, and they've just got to try and keep it at 1-0. You do feel like if they concede the second, it might be a long way home. in terms of trying to get a result out of the game. So we'll try and have a watch of Grimsby against Wolves. And Wolves are 1-0 up in that one. Of course, Grimsby knocking out Manchester United in the League Cup earlier on this season. So it's half-time between Stoke and Fulham. That's still 1-0 to Stoke. Fulham have gone still strong. It's still a very strong starting 11, but slightly rotated. And Grimsby 0, Wolves 1. Goal scored not too long ago. Santiago Bueno, the centre-back, with the goal for Wolverhampton Wanderers, who beat Shrewsbury in the third round. Quite convincingly in the end. But I feel like when it's 1-0, there's always a chance. There's always a moment that Grimsby could capitalise on and get it to 1-1. And the later kick-off, Arsenal trying to avoid the upset, and if they don't avoid the upset, it might be one of the biggest in FA Cup. I can say FA Cup history, but Wigan have already done that before when they beat Manchester City in the FA Cup final in 2013. Devastating that for Birmingham, losing on penalty kicks. Both scored the first two, and then Doyle missed the third one. Aronson scored the third for Leeds, and then Patrick Roberts missed the fourth, and then Longstaff scored the fourth to send Leeds United through, who were very much holding their own in the Premier League as well. Another team who were kind of reliant on their home form. Leeds just sitting out the drop zone by 6 points. A point above Spurs, who are currently in 16th position. But for Oxford United, who we're covering today, might be a bit too big of an ask. 5 points away from safety. And in terms of ability of squad, they probably don't quite have the squad to kind of battle with the long side, because obviously Leicester's now down in the relegation zone due to the points deduction they got and their poor run of form. West Brom are down there, Blackburn are down there as well, Charlton. Just seems like Oxford United just don't quite have the squads and the quality that they do, or even the confidence. I think confidence is a big thing as well. Also in the in relegation battles, if you can just try and string a win or two, it can just lift you massively. And Oxford United need to do that, and they've not been able to do that for a while. You know, they've only won 3 of their last 20 in the Championship. And what's quite ironic for Oxford United, out of those 20 games that they've played and the 3 games that they've won, they've beat Leicester, most recently away, they beat Southampton and Ipswich at home. So out of the 3 wins that they've most recently picked up, all 3 of them have come against the relegated sides from the Premier League, which I found quite amusing when doing a bit of research for this game. So it's almost like they do stand up and make sure they are counted when they take on a team that definitely have more resources than Oxford United do. And they're putting the game to Sunderland at the moment, not making it easy for the Black Cats at all. They only lead through a penalty, which was poorly given. In terms of the foul that was made to give it, the decision was correct by the referee. The screen's gone black at the moment in the game between Grimsby and Wolves. Oh, there we go. Back on. Just went off for the moment. As in other games, wow, Kilmarnock lead Celtic by 2-0. That's a huge result in the title race, because Rangers dropped points in the week. I can't remember who it was against. Yeah, it was against Motherwell, and Hearts won late. So Celtic losing themselves here will put them a point behind Rangers in second, and then 6 points behind Hearts, who do play Rangers today at half past 4. But when Rangers and Hearts play one another, that does give Celtic a game in hand. So they would have a chance to close the gap back down. But losing 2-0 to Kilmarnock. See, it's difficult with the Scottish Premiership. Has the teams below Celtic and Rangers improved, or have Celtic and Rangers dropped off? Because, you know, Celtic aren't just losing games to Hearts and Rangers. You know, they've lost. I know it was under Wilfred Nancy, But they've lost against teams like Motherwell, like St Mirren in the cup final, dropping points against other teams as well. Dundee also makes for a great title race, which you don't always get in the Scottish Premiership. It must be said. So that's at half time. Kilmarnock 2, Celtic 0. As also in the WSL, I only mentioned this, the WSL, which is the Women's Super League, because one of the results had 10 goals in it. Aston Villa hosting Tottenham. That ended Aston Villa 3, Spurs 7. It was 5-3 at one point, and then Spurs scored 2 goals later on to make it 7-3. Just a scoreline you do not see very often at all. If you do have a break from the stream and going to have a quick scroll on TikTok or whatever while it's half time, make sure you return for the second half, because I have a little feeling that Oxford are going to make this very difficult for Sunderland. I'm not saying they're going to equalise or anything, because you never know, they could do, but I don't think it'll be a walk in the park in this second half for Sunderland. Matt Bloomfield actually had a decent record in the FA Cup last season. He won in the first round, second round and third round with Wickham before leaving to take on the Luton job, so never quite able to finish that cup run off for Wickham. As that 6-yard box at Grimsby is absolutely disgusting, but I love it. Even the 18-yard box, there's more mud in there than there is grass, and that's exactly what you want to see. It's Grimsby breaking it. Wolves have got bodies back. Out to the right-hand side. Chops backhand slips. And he tries to play the reverse ball down the line. Not quite red. Wolves can deal with that, clearing it. Not very far, though. Still on here for Grimsby. Ball deflects into the area. Not headed away very well. Chance for a shot. It's blocked. Then a ball out to the left it for Vernon. Angle's tight, goes for the pull back, deflects. It's a corner for Grimsby Town, who will very much fancy themselves with 20 minutes to go, especially on a pitch like that. They'll be used to playing on this. Wolverhampton Wanderers certainly will not. From the corner, they have gone short here, Grimsby. Trying to get a ball into the box if they can. From the far side. Ball almost went in. It's a throw-in as the ball deflects off to Chua. I'd be very surprised if Grimsby Town don't have a long throw in here. Good signing that for Grimsby Town as well. Just coming on screen, Andy Cook from Bradford. Proper old school striker. Andy Cook, 35 years of age. Gone short from the throw-in, but as they played it back to the throw-in taker, stood in an offside position there, Sweeney. And unfortunately, that's a free kick for Wolves in a right-back position. Second half of our game will be getting back underway in a couple of minutes' time. We'll switch our attention back over very shortly. I think during this FA Cup weekend of upsets that we've had, the main one was, funnily enough, we commentated on their third round game. Mansfield travelled to Burnley at the Premier League and beat them 2-1. An unbelievable free kick by Lewis Reed, who scored a worldie. Scored 2 worldies, if I remember rightly, against Sheffield United, the game we commentated on. That's kind of the only upset so far. There's not really been room for another upset. Burton came close against 10-man West Ham. They won 1-0 after extra time. But Norwich, West Brom, there's not really an upset there, is there? Same for Southampton, Leicester. But Liverpool were very comfortable winners last night in their game against Brighton. 3-0. Wolves cross the ball in the box towards Armstrong. It's a header away, back towards Chichua. Andre. Mosquera with the ball in. No one's up there for them. The goalkeeper can collect for Grimsby. Yeah, we're going to have to divert our attention back to Oxford United against Sunderland, but we will keep up to date with how that unfolds. The Grimsby Wolves game. To be fair, it was a bit of a roll of the dice of which game to commentate on. Was it going to be Grimsby? It's either Grimsby. To be fair, it was any of these games: Grimsby, Wolves, Oxford United, Sunderland, or even Stoke against Fulham. Decided to go for Oxford against Sunderland. Never commentated on Oxford United before. I did Fulham's game in the week against Manchester City. And Grimsby Wolves, I just weren't sure because it was on one of the main TNT's channels. I thought I'll try and do one of the ones that's on there, which is on their red button, which is the reason why we're doing Oxford United against Sunderland. As the second half will be underway very, very shortly. Doing a lot better than they did against Brighton at home this season. Oxford United beaten 6-0 by Brighton in the end. But it is crazy for Sunderland. They've lost 9 times this season in all competitions, twice at home, once in the Premier League, the game they just played against Liverpool, but then also against Huddersfield in the League Cup in the second round. And then their 7 other defeats have been away from home, all in the Premier League. And they've just not been very good on their travels so far this season, Sunderland. And in terms of their away form last season, it was okay. It wasn't anything amazing. They won 10 of their away games in the Championship, just 3 of the last 8, including the playoff run to the final. As Oxford United will want to try and prolong their cup runners for as long as possible. It's not in their control at the moment. In terms of it is Sunderland with the lead to protect. As I'm showing a replay here on the Lafay yellow card, 33 minutes in, that late challenge on Brannigan. I just don't think it's quite enough for a red card. There's a little bit of a scissor motion, but it's not a high challenge in terms of his boot. It's quite along the floor, just catches the foot of Brannigan. So I think it'd be very harsh for Lafay to have got a red card in that one. So the Sunderland team are back out for the second half. So are the Oxford United players as well. Looking to reach the 5th round. Oxford United for the first time since February 2017, when they were knocked out by Middlesbrough away from home. They were 2-0 down in that one, then got it back to 2-2, but then lost it in the 86th minute. A Christian Stuani goal for the Borough that day sent them through, which meant that Oxford United did miss out on an FA Cup quarter-final. So we're back underway for the second half. It'll be Oxford United kicking left to right, Sunderland right to left. Oxford United to kick off, and they send the long ball forward. It's headed back towards the Sunderland goal, and it's dealt with by Sirkin. No changes at half-time, as the ball deflects off Stanley Mills. No, it doesn't. Off a Sunderland man, it'll be Oxford United throwing on the halfway line, taken quickly by Spencer to Makosso. It's now Brown to Curry. Back towards the goalkeeper, Ingram, who will get there and kick it away with his left boot, straight out of play. And that's a throw in on the halfway line for Sunderland on that far side. It'll be taken by Trey Hume, who recently scored his first ever international goal for Northern Ireland against Slovakia in the October international break. Mukiele starting again with Robin Roofs. Laying the ball here into Luke O'Nien. He does have 23 Sunderland goals since joining from Wycombe in July 2018. He has been right through the journey with Sunderland from the devastating days of League One all the way back into the Premier League. Sent off in the Premier League already, Luke O'Nien. And that was a straight red against Manchester City at the Etihad at the beginning of December as he drives away with the ball into the Oxford United half. It's a great pass here into Mundle. He's got a bit of time on the left-hand side. He's just outside the box for now. Jinxes into the box, takes on 2 or 3 Oxford United players, then lays it off for Lefay, whose shot is blocked there by Brannigan. Silky player on that left-hand side, Mundle. It's been a great watch so far. Talby wanting the 1-2 with Lefay. Intercepted, and here is John with the ball. Poking it out to the left. He's been caught by Hume, who is on a yellow card. And that will be a free kick, but nothing more given by the referee, Tom Kirk. Just needs to be careful. Late one there on John Jinwoo. First club away from South Korea for the 26-year-old. Can play on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, but he's primarily right-footed, so likes to cut in from the left flank. Ingram with the big kick forward for Oxford United, right onto the edge of the 18-yard area, headed forward by O'Nien, drops here for Mills, who plays it into the box. Chance, Donnelly with the shot. Blocked off by Sirkin, corner for Oxford United. They won't give up this fight. I think it's Stanley Mills who's down as he poked the ball into Donnelly. He was caught himself by O'Nien. Advantage was played, the shot was taken, deflected for a corner. Certainly a foul there by O'Nien. It's going to be an in-swinger from this near side by Jamie Donnelly. To score this season after an unsuccessful loan spell at Stoke to begin the campaign. In it goes. It's a deep one. Can the header be won? It goes over Makosso and Brown. And it will roll away for a goal kick for Sunderland. Bit of a waste there from the home team. And it was in fact their home form which kept them up last season for Oxford United. They've only won 3 home games this season so far, 3 of them away from home as well. But last season they won 11 home games, only losing 7 of them. Their worst run last season for Oxford was 1 win from 16 in the Championship from the middle of September towards the end of December. But then after that they went 9 unbeaten with 5 wins and 4 draws. That was when Gary Rowett was brought in. Mundle lifting it in for Isidore. He's been very quiet so far this afternoon. Dispossessed there by Makosso. Mills down the line here as there's a foul off the ball on Chris Makosso there by Isidore. On the right ankle, and it's a yellow card for Wilson Isidore, who scored in the home fixture against Oxford last season. Not actually sure what happened here. It was something off the ball for sure. Isidore having a slight laugh about it because I think he's in complete disbelief of why he's been booked. I didn't actually see why. He must have accidentally trodden on the ankle of Makosso or something for him to be booked there. As Ingram sends it down the Oxford United right-hand side, headed by Sirkin. It's going to be thrown midway side the Sunderland half here for Oxford. Definitely won't be displeased with the first half performance, Matt Bloomfield. Only retired in 2022. Played in central midfield. Turned 42 at the beginning of this month as Volks, long throw into the near post. It's headed away by O'Nien. Donnelly's trying to meet it if he can. Mundle will get there ahead of him and drive away from Mills, bundled to the ground by the winger. And Romain Mundle is asking how many. That's, I think, the 4th time now he's been fouled when doing his defensive work there, Romain Mundle. Don't think it's a yellow card, but I do understand his point of how many, because it's been plenty of fouls on him so far. I don't know why they've booked Wilson Isidore. There was a little bit of contact after the ball had gone, but I think Chris Makosso was making the most of it. As Makosso heads it away from Isidore there, but it does drop to Gertrude. Goes to the far side to Hume, forward from fullback. Works it to Talby, who's not been his usual self today. Goes back to Gertrude. Mukiele on the ball, being pressed here by Lancashire. Plays it forward. There's an attempted flick by Hume, but it's been cut out by Brannigan. Volks turning away there from Diarra, the goal scorer, in the first half, which has Sunderland in the lead. Volks playing it to the right centre-half area of Makosso. First ever FA Cup appearance for the centre-half as Oxford go down the right-hand side. Free header for 09. Chested by Lafay. Try to turn away from his man. Now he's getting doubled up on, and then he's caught there by Mills. And it's another free kick. And Mills again can't believe that he's been penalised. Oxford United certainly feeling they're being hard done by. Very physical game. And that's what Oxford United want it to be. Letting Sunderland know that they're in a game. You got tripped there by Donnelly and then clattered into by Mills. Bit of a double whammy there for Enzo Lafay. Matt Bloomfield kind of applauding the press, really putting Sunderland under pressure. You can't allow players like Enzo Lafay time on the ball. You can't, or they'll just rip you apart. See how long they can keep it up for Oxford United as we're 7.5 minutes into the second half and no huge chances as of yet. But it's still just the one goal, so Oxford United will fancy this. They won't think this game's over yet. As Brannigan on the ball. 4 league goals for him so far this season from central midfield. Not scored, though, since the 1st of November at home to Millwall. And his 2 FA Cup goals in his career for Brannigan have both come in the second round against rivals Exeter and Plymouth. Not rivals of Oxford, but they're rivals between the two of them, Exeter and Plymouth. As they try and get away down the left-hand side, it's cleared by Mukiele, taking no prisoners there on Lancashire. But it is a throw-in. They're going to try and go long here, I think, with another Will Volks long throw. 75th appearance for the club for Will Volks. Played 66 minutes from the start in their last game in the FA Cup against MK Dons. Will Volks with a long throw. It's a huge throw, headed away by 09. And it's a corner on the far side for Sunderland. Apologising to his teammates there, 09, but I'm not entirely sure why. He couldn't really done much more with it. He won the header. Probably didn't want to direct it for a corner, maybe for another throw-in. But even if it was a throw-in, Oxford United have got a long one to take. So they're kind of both as bad as each other, whichever you concede. They are liking the in-swinging deliveries, Oxford, but they are going short for this one. But then it's directed straight in by Brannigan to the gloves of Roofs. Easy catch for the goalkeeper, who's going to try and go for a kick. No, decides to go for the throw out to the right-hand side for Lafay instead. Who just slows the game down and brings in Gertrude, who did play twice for the Netherlands in the November international break against Poland and Lithuania. It's Mundell. Certainly the brightest Sunderland spark. Finding Diarra on this near side towards the corner flag. Try to get around Makosso. Can't do so. Does he overrun it? No, he's kept it in with the poke ball forward. Can't reach Mundell. Cleared in the end by Mills. Straight to Mukiele in the centre circle, who will play it to his left to 09. Being closed down, but he can dink it out to the left, but straight out of play. Throw in for Oxford United. Unfortunately, came off late. Came off early in the playoff final against Sheffield United last season, 09, dislocating his shoulder. But they were able to win the game without their captain anyway. 09 wins the first contact on Lancashire, then Lafay sending it back to Roofs. It's a bouncing ball, and he just about gets there ahead of John. But the clearance only goes as far as Mills on the right-hand side, running at Sirkin, playing it inside to his left to Volks. Slows it down, keeping it away from Lafay. It's now Spencer. Into Mills, who keeps it in. Back into Volks. Mills again. Can't get away from Sirkin. And that's going to be a throw-in for Oxford United. Both got headbands in. Lafay and Sirkin look rather similar. I know Lafay's hair is just slightly darker. Volks in the centre circle. Back out wide it goes to Mills. He's got Spencer making the run forward from fullback, and he finds him. And I think he's onside. right in front of the corner flag. Spencer tries to get the cross in early. He tries it, but it's deflected off Sirkin, and that's going to be a corner again for Oxford United. You feel like the longer this game's at 1-0 and the more set pieces they get, Oxford will grow more confident as the game goes on, believing they can snatch an equaliser. Fulham have equalised away at Stoke. Wolves are still 1-0 up against Grimsby, going towards the 90th minute as the ball's delivered in. And again, too close to the goalkeeper, easily caught for Robin Roofs. And Roofs kicks out of his hands. It's a low one out to the right. That's a beautiful ball straight into Talby's path, who can now run at Curry. Talby on the right hand side into the area, tries to cut in, just overruns it, tackled by Brown in the end. And it's now Oxford on the left hand side with Brannigan lifting it forward to Lancashire, who's had to do a lot of hold up play, and that time he's linked it brilliantly. But the second ball forward by Brannigan's poor, and Sunderland can attack. Talby got Diarra overlapping to his right. He's got options to his left as well. He'll find Mundle, who will take it on first time. It's a well saved shot there by Ingram. Pretty comfortable, just to his left. Had to just slightly dive across and palm it away. Not too far in the corner there from Mundle, who's still searching for his first goal of the season. Sunderland's number 14. Stanley Mills on the right wing for Oxford United. Slightly isolated on the right-hand side, but he's going to use his pace to get around Sirkin and work a crossing. It's a low one. It almost reaches Lancashire. Key interception, that by 09. Who will bring it forward for Sunderland. Going into Mundle. Short ball, tackled by Spencer, but that drops to Lefay. He will just about keep it in. Goes back to Sirkin. Across to Roofs. Mills will continue to press. Goes to the right to Mukiele, who can get away from John Jin Woo, using his complete strength there, Nordi Mukiele. Then dinking it down the right-hand side. It's a good ball, and it'll be Talby to take it over. Talby on the edge of the area, playing it across to the left to Mundle. Touch isn't great, but can skip away from Spencer, can he? No, goes down. Referee doesn't see it as a foul, and then there's a big kick forward for Oxford United. Try to catch out Robin Roofs, who on the edge of the box will chest it down. Confidence there from Robin Roofs. Don't know who had the shot there. I want to say it was Will Volks, but I'm not too sure. But they saw that Robin Roofs was slightly off his goal and tried to catch him out. Didn't quite do so, unfortunately. Sunderland have won 5 of the last 7, though, against Oxford United. Won 3 of the last 6 here away at the Kazam Stadium. Drawing 1 of the others and then also losing 2. Lefay, just over half an hour to go. Lefay in between the lines, great ball. Talby, plenty of time to shoot, and that's a good save from Ingram. Tipping it over. I think it was more aiming towards the top right corner, and he was equal to it, the 32-year-old. Talby with just way too much time. He was well found though by Lefay. And despite being quiet, that's the closest that Sunderland have come to a goal in the second half. Has conceded 15 now in his first 7 appearances for Oxford United. Matt Ingram joined for an undisclosed free from Hull at the start of last season. It's going to be an outswinger here for Sunderland. Plenty of height in the box with Mukiele and Gertruda and Isidore in there as well. In it goes. And it's header won by Brown for Oxford, back in by 09. Headed away again by Brown, but all as far as Diarra in the corner of the box on the left-hand side. Forces himself towards the byline, onto his right foot. Delivers a ball in, headed by Makosso. And then a volley towards goal. It's well saved at the near post. Just half an hour to go. Trey Hume almost scoring his first of the season. He's only scored 6 in his previous 159 games for Sunderland. But a weak-footed volley. It dropped nicely for him. His technique was right. Just on the edge of the area. Caught out Ingram, who had to quickly spring across to stop the ball going in, because that was on target. It's going to be the same again. An outswinger from Hume. It's a deeper one this time. Towards Gertrude, who tries to touch it down. Does reach Mundle on the edge of the box. Try to keep the ball away from Brannigan. And he does, then brought down. That's going to have to be a booking. And it is going to be for the captain. He's won so many free kicks today. He's been someone they just can't handle. Romain Mundle. Only his 4th start of the season. Has played every minute so far in the FA Cup. Lacked a little bit of game time, Romain Mundle, just due to the fact he started the season with a hamstring injury and didn't come back until November. So less than half an hour to go now. Sunderland just starting to knock on the door once more. Trying to double their lead and to make it very difficult for Oxford United to turn this game around. It's going to be Lafay on this near side. 2-man wall for Oxford. The ball's in. Well, it didn't even reach the goal. It didn't even reach the main box as it's kicked straight off the man in the wall of John Jinwoo. Caught in the head, so the referee has stopped the game. It's awful delivery from Lafay. It's not even beat the men in the wall. Straight off the face of John Jinwoo. So we'll get a quick stoppage here just to make sure he's okay as he's gone down holding his head. Do have plenty of attacking options on the bench if they decide to change things around. Oxford United. Got Idemo Imaku, who they brought in for a 7-figure fee from Millwall on deadline day. Also got Przemysław Pacheta, the Polish winger, who's not scored since their win at home to Ipswich at the end of November. Scored that goal off the bench as well. So the South Korean winger being walked off by the medical staff. And I think he might be being brought off. I'm not too sure. Sunderland are going to make a change though. Not been his day at all. Wilson Istor will come off, who's been replaced in the main starting 11 by Brian Brobby. And he's had his chance today and he's just not took it at all. And I think the goal scorer is also going to come off as well for Sunderland. So Wilson Isidore and Habib Diarra come off. And the 2 changes we'll see. Eliza Mayenda come on, who's only scored once this season, and that was in their first game in the Premier League against West Ham. Did assist their only goal against Everton. And the other change, we'll see Noah Siddiqui come on as well. You missed 5 games for Sunderland away at AFCON with DR Congo, as they were knocked out in the last 16 by Algeria. And we're going to get Oxford United changes as well. So the South Korean John Jinwoo will come on. South Korean flag there in the stands. So the wingers off. So is the captain Cameron Brannigan, who is on a booking and returning from his injury. Jamie Donnelly also will be coming off. And the 3 players that are coming on will be new signing in January, Jamie McDonnell, who got through with Mansfield, beating Sheffield United in the 3rd round. Also, Idemo Imaku will be coming on. And so will Ole Romani as well. So, plenty of changes. And 25 minutes to go for Oxford United to try and change this game around. Chested down by Lafay. Sirkin can't find Lafay in the area, but the ball misplaced will drop to him instead. Then Meander on the turn. First involvement in the game, almost scores a goal. Saved at the near post there by Ingram. Almost there for Meander. Probably would have been slightly frustrated he didn't start this game, Eliza Meander. He's not played any minutes in the last 3 in the Premier League. As Wolves go through 1-0 against Grimsby. Celtic have got it back to 2-2 against Kilmarnock in the Scottish Premiership. So corner for Sunderland. It's going to be another in-swinger on this near side. It's a deep one. Free header across goal and it's saved again by Ingram. Mukiele with the header. certainly earning his money this afternoon. And in this second half, Matt Ingram completely free at the back post there. Nordi Mukiele, who's got the 1 goal so far since joining, and that was in a home win against Wolves towards the middle of October. It's going to be an outswinger now from Hume, who's taken corners on both sides. Right arm raised, plenty of movement from the bodies in the box for Sunderland. And it goes towards the penalty spot. Mukiele wins another header, but this time it's nowhere near on target. Goal kick for Oxford United. We've got about a quarter of the game left. They've not really tested Robin Roofs in this second half. Playing out from the back with Kieran Brown, who actually scored against Matt Bloomfield's Luton last season for Oxford United. Losing out though as they try and go a bit more direct. It's now on the left wing on the halfway line. Mundell can't control it. Throw in for Oxford United. You've got to start trying to make some opportunities and testing Robin Roofs if they want any chance of going through into the 5th round. Game's just being paused for the moment. Not entirely sure why. There's a yellow card coming out for Luke 09. Not exactly sure why he was booked, but something off the ball, maybe something said towards the referee. But we're back underway, 22 minutes to go of the 90. Curry, the left back, who's missed the last 4, injured. Ingram to Makosso. To Spencer at right back, having to try and clear it. Last touch off the Oxford man. Throw in for Sunderland. Well closed down there by Mundell. That home run from Sunderland was something special. Of course, losing to Liverpool on Thursday, but before that they hadn't lost at home since a 1-0 defeat to QPR on the 3rd of May. Ball clipped forward. Can't reach Mundell, but the loose ball will drop to Siddiqui. On this left wing, running at Mills. Onto his right foot, delivering the ball in. It's kicked up in the air by Makosso. Out of the area though. And then glanced on. But not very far. It's Gertrude who's pickpocketed, but the ball drops to 09 after the tackle from the Oxford number 11. Ole roaming it. Makosso losing out on that right back position. Mundell tripped again. It's another foul and another free kick. He's won them all day long, Romain Mundell. Seriously quality player. I'm surprised he's not starting more. Started twice in the Premier League, and they were back-to-back against West Ham and Palace. Yeah, an off-the-ball incident, got 09 in the book. Must have been seen by the assistant referee. Shot from afar from Hume. Straight down the throat of the goalkeeper, Ingram. Big kick out of his hands from the goalkeeper. Up towards Mills. Headed away though by Lafay. Second ball won by Volks. Controlled by Mills. Tackled by Lafay. It's a throw in for Oxford. Do they fancy the long throw? That's what they're going to go for. It's going to be launched in there by Will Volks. I think took the captain's armband off Cameron Brannigan. And he has. Need to try and test Roofs here. Because at the moment it's a poorly given penalty, which has got them behind. Volks throws it long towards the near post. Headed backwards. Chance for a strike on goal, and it goes over. Simply not good enough at all. That strike from Jamie McDonnell. Brought in from Nottingham Forest for £1 million plus add-ons after a very impressive loan spell with Mansfield in League One. Had started 4 of the previous 5 since joining. And turns 22 years old tomorrow. But that needs to test the goalkeeper. Not good enough at all. They've not had many chances in this game, in terms of clear-cut chances, and that was one of them. Mukiele clears it forward. Header away by Brown. Played back by Imaku. Brown back forward. Towards Romani. Loses out, but the ball drops eventually for Oxford here with Brown. Forward to Imaku. Tackle by Hume fairly. And that's going to be Sunderland with the ball. Attacking down the right-hand side. Well, they tried to. Just slightly played behind Talby. And that'll be a throw-in for Oxford United, who are winless in their last 4 games. The only game they haven't lost in that run was a 0-0 draw away at Coventry. But with that, they've lost to Norwich in the last game, and then also lost to Sheffield United away and Birmingham at home as well. Only scoring 3 in their last 5 in the Championship. "18 minutes left of the 90. Robin Roof's on the ball just in front of the penalty spot for the Black Cats. Now with 09. Drives with the ball. Plays it as he gets to the halfway line. Sirkin inside to Siddiqui. Back through for Sirkin towards the corner flag. He's going to go for a low ball in to Mundell. The angle is tight, but he'll go for the shot. It's blocked. Falls to Siddiqui on the edge of the area. Keeping it simple here to Gertrude. Across to the right to Hume. Talby. Back inside to Hume. Lafay. Touch just springs up on him, but he can bring it down. Plays it forward to Talby. Mukiele. Adventuring forward. It's now Talby on the far side. Skips beyond one challenge. And then lays it off here to Lafay. It's a more central part of the pitch with 09. Forward to Gertrude. Needs to release it out to the left, and he can. Here's Mundell. Everything to his right. Couple of step overs. Then try to drive inside. Touch is too heavy. Tackle by Volks. And eventually cleared up the pitch by Mills. And Oxford United can try and push up. It does give a ball to chase for Lancashire, who gets there ahead of 09. Lancashire in the box. Oh, it's gone against him. He puts it in the net. But there was a handball. Big call to make. Or was he saying push in the back? I think the assistant referee just said a push in the back. That's a huge chance. Don't get me wrong, the ball was only put in the net because Roofs had stopped playing because the whistle had already gone. He was onside, he was in his own half, launched ball forward, went over 09, a slight pull on the shirt when they both started running towards the ball. I don't think he needs to do that as well, Lancashire. It's soft, don't get me wrong, it's soft. But the slightest of pulls on the shirt has gone against him. Oh, that's so soft. I'm not going to be, if I'm going to be completely honest, I think that is rubbish officiating. The fact they've give that for the slightest pull, not even on his shirt, on the almost on the captain's armband. No, that's soft for me. Really soft. And that's a huge Oxford chance that they won't be able to get back. Gertrude dispossessed in the middle too easily. And now Oxford United try and get forward. Romani. Poor ball, really poor, intercepted by Lafay on that far side. Through here to Siddiqui, latched onto the ball in the area. Angle's tight, he's been forced away from goal. And his pass back is cut out by Curry. Shields it away from Siddiqui and clears. Well, as far as Lafay, touched it forward for Talby. Flick into Siddiqui. Kicks it off an Oxford man. But can't find a Sunderland shirt. Long ball forward, cut out by the head of Hume. Needs to try and get onto the second ball, which he does do so. It's now Mukiele. Back into Roofs in the box. Forward to 09. And then across to Mukiele, his centre-back partner. And it remains 1-0 to Sunderland, 76 minutes in. All from the penalty spot from Habib Diarra in the 32nd minute. Brown clears it from Hume in the box. Brown with another header. Back out wide, but only as far as Talby. Knocks it forward to Hume. Good tackle again by Brown. shown his quality this afternoon. Kieran Brown, 28 years of age, joined on a free in July 2022 from Cardiff after spending the previous 6 months at the club on loan. So the throw in here for Sunderland. It looks like it might be a long one in here for Luke O'Nien. Throwing goes into the near post. It's headed on by McDonald. And then cleared eventually for Oxford United, but not very far. Mundle forward into the area for Mukiele. Onto his right foot. Trying to clip a cross in, and he does do that, but there's a header away on the penalty spot and then helped on by Amaku. Dealt with by Hume. Headed away by Curry at left back. It's now Amaku, Oxford United's new number 10. McDonald. Back it goes to the goalkeeper, Ingram, who's kept this at 1-0 in the second half. He's had to make a good number of saves so far, as his ball towards Mills will not be kept in. Outmuscled his defender as well there, Stanley Mills. Just his 30th start for the club in his 70th appearance for them, Stanley Mills. Still only at the age of 22. Twelve and a half minutes to go. Sunderland find Mundle, who's now driving into a central area. He's going to go for the strike early. It's well held there by Ingram. There was a player free to his right there of Shezdeem Talbot, but he went on his own. And Ingram can kick it forward. Touched by Mills. Picks up by Amaku in the centre circle. Volks to Brown on the halfway line. Can Oxford United create one chance? Curry forward from left back. Low ball goes in. Stopped at the first man. And that's Trey Hume. It's now Lefay. Down the right channel for Mayenda, the substitute. We'll get there ahead of Makosso. Mayenda. Try to drive inside. He's got Mundle free to the left. He dinks it to him. Great ball. Not a bad touch. Mundle drives inside, maybe open for a shot. No, it's not. Good tackle on the penalty spot. Had to get it right. Almost a chance for a shot there for Mundle, who would certainly deserve a goal if he scores one this afternoon. Even though they're keeping it at 1-0, Oxford United, they're just not creating anything up the other end to maybe try and force this to extra time. Both of these went to penalties in their third round game. Both away from home to MK Dons and Everton respectively. As Sunderland attack down the right. Talbot thought about the cross first time. Tried to chop inside. Last touch off Curry. Corner kick for Oxford United. Doing well to play such a large part of the game. Jack Curry, whose last start was on the 21st of January, has been injured since. Still 1-1 between Stoke and Fulham. Still 2-2 as well between Kilmarnock and Celtic with 10 to play. Outswinging delivery from Hume. That's got a lot of height on it. Glanced away by Mills, but the ball had already gone out of play as it was delivered in by the goalkeeper, by the taker on that far side, so it'll be a goal kick. Sunderland are going to make another change here. This just highlights their struggle away from home. They've probably been the more dominant side, but it's been nothing special at all. Sunderland are going to make a change. Shezdeem Talbot will come off. And he's going to be replaced, and there's going to be a debut for Jocelyn Tabi, the Ivorian winger, number 37, brought in for £3.5 million from the Israeli and top division, Maccabi Netanya. scored two goals in the Israeli league. His last appearance, though, for them was in the middle of December because he has been out of an ankle injury. So he's only just returning. So first appearance for 2 months for Jocelyn Tabby. See if he can make a difference, signed on a 4.5-year deal. As we're going to get 2 Oxford changes. It's going to be Stanley Mills, the right winger, who comes off. And he'll be replaced by Poeta, the Polish winger. And there's going to be another change as we are going to see Jack Curry come off, the left back, who's only just returned after missing the last 4, and he'll be replaced, I think, by Ruben Ruskin, on loan from Huddersfield, brought in towards the end of the window. As Mundell gets the last touch there, that should be an Oxford United throw-in, and it will be. Spencer throws it back here into Volks. Keeps it away from Mundell. It's a good pass played across by Makosso to Brown. Into the middle to McDonnell. Back to Brown. Good press here from Sunderland, forcing Oxford to try and go back. Volks out to the left here to McDonnell. Outside of the boot, ball down the line. Cut out by Tabby, who will now drive forward the Ivorian. Oh, the ball has gone out of play. So it'll be a throw-in instead for Oxford United, who have not won back-to-back games all season in all competitions, as the rain just starts to pour and the match and the pitch conditions will get worse, but we are towards the end here. Well, we could play a little bit more if Oxford United can somehow conjure up an equaliser. Long ball down the right-hand side towards Lancashire, who nods it on ahead of 09, but it's cleared ahead of Romani. And it's headed back forward by Ruskin. Picked up in the middle there by Gertrude, who's all on his own. Out to the right it goes to Tabby, the number 37 for Sunderland, recently introduced off the bench. He's being doubled up on here as he tries to drive inside, then back outside, but he's been stopped by Ruskin. Oxford United need more bodies forward than this. They find Lancashire, his ball back straight to Siddiqui. Tries to make up for his error here, Lancashire, but they can work it to Mayenda, whose touch gets away from him. But he's still alive with Lafay. Gertrude. That's the problem now of Oxford United. They've got 7 minutes to go and they've got to try and decide whether they go for it or keep it at 1-0 for as long as possible. Because if they start going for it, that leaves a little bit more space in behind for Sunderland to try and exploit. Tabby. Gets the last touch off Ruskin, and that will not roll for a corner. It's gone for a goal kick instead. Jocelyn Tabby. 21 years of age. The Ivorian winger turned 21 last week on the 9th of February. Big kick forward for Oxford United, headed backwards by Mukiele, so it will have to be kept in here by Hume, who will get there before it goes out. And he's going to kick this long down the Sunderland right channel, up towards Mayenda. Header won by Brown, played back by Volks to Makosso. Spencer back to Ingram in goal for Oxford United. Left-footed ball goes long down the left-hand side up towards Lancashire, who chests it down brilliantly. Tries to reverse it back out wide left, but cut out by Mukiele, who hurries a clearance away. It's going to be dealt with here by Kieran Brown, but then dealt with by Mukiele once more. Oh, what a flick that is around the corner by Lafay to Mukiele, who then gets caught in possession. Being a bit too fancy with it, the French centre-half. Down the halfway line with Volks. McDonnell turning away from Mayenda. Ruskin. McDonnell. Still in the Oxford United half here with Kieran Brown. In between the two centre-backs is Will Volks. Only ever FA Cup goal for him was against Rotherham. Away at Crewe in a 2-1 defeat in the first round, all the way back in November 2017. Throw in for Oxford. Last touch there off Jocelyn Tabby. Will Volks. Less than 5 minutes of the 90 to go. It's a long diagonal ball in behind. Can't quite reach the intended target of Oxford's number 7. Przemysław Poeta. Contract expires at the end of the season for the Polish international, or the former Polish international. Has not played for them since November 2021. They've battled and they've competed really well in this game. Oxford United, but in terms of goal scoring opportunities, they have been very, very limited, especially in the second half. As the rain continues to pour. Headed away by the centre half, Makosso. Spencer try to go back, it's slightly short. Brown's boot is high, but according to the referee, got the ball, so play will continue as Mayenda does stay down. And it's not a head injury, so Oxford United don't have to stop playing. They'll go long up towards Lancashire, who cannons off his chest, and headed down by Gertrude. Oxford try and win it back. Mundell knocked to the floor again. It's a poor clearance. Ball goes down. Ball goes out. And Lancashire punching the ground in pain, holding his left ankle. Must have been some heavy contact here for Will Lancashire because he's in a lot of pain. Eliza Mayenda's back up though. Let's have a look. Brown went for the ball with his boot. Yeah, slightly. Went through the ball and then caught the man just in the stomach. And then let's have a look at Lancashire. Accidentally caught on the ankle. That is completely accidental. Mundell was shoved to the floor, and as he was falling, he then just trod on the ankle of Lancashire. He was going to try and get through this with pure adrenaline for the last few minutes. I felt very sorry for him during this game, Will Lancashire. He's tried his best to hold up as much as possible, but he's not been helped a lot by his teammates. As Will Vaulks from the throw-in. Just go short this time to Poeta. Here he is again, Oxford's number 7. Going on the outside of Siddiqui. Can he work a crossing? He does to the near post. It's a free header. Mundell can't help it away. And it'll roll for a throw-in for Oxford, who are going to take it long. Just over 2 minutes left of the 90. In recent times, Oxford have played Premier League opposition, have been knocked out by them. They wanted this to change if possible. The throw-in's headed away. Headed back, though, to Vaulks by McDonnell. Vaulks with a cross that goes in. It's a deflected one, not dealt with very well. In the area towards Brown. Good touch by Gertrude, cleared by 09. And it will be kept in by Mayenda. Mundell gets away from his man and then plays it inside to Lefay. They've got bodies over here. It's a 4v3. Lefay here for Tabby, the winger, on his debut. Slows himself down with a poor touch. Needs support now, the number 37. He keeps it well. To Hume. To Tabby again. Hume in the Sunderland half. Going all the way back to Roofs. 90 seconds to go. Probably won't get a whole lot of added on time, really, as well. There's not been too many stoppages in this second half, or it's not felt like it anyway. 09 to Siddiqui. Down the left-hand side. Plays it into the middle to Mundell. Great ball. Mundell falls over the ball. And that's going to be a free kick for Oxford on the edge of the box. Makosso shoved to the ground from behind by Lefay, who is on a yellow card. But the referee's not giving him a second one yet. Oxford United trying to attack. Poeta on the halfway line. Going back into Vaulks. Then finding the runner Spencer from right back. It's 09 coming across. He's also on a booking. But the slide challenge is perfectly timed by the number 13. Throwing in the final third for Oxford United, who have had plenty of long throws, but not really done much with any of them they've had so far. It's going to be Vaulks again with the captain's armband on. Throws it into the area, headed on and into the gloves of Roofs. The first header was won there by Brown, and it was almost touched in by centre-back partner Makosso, who has cost Oxford United so far. We're giving away that penalty in the first half, which separates the two. And we've hit the 90th minute. And there's going to be 5 added on. That's generous. Very, very generous. Still 2-2 between Kilmarnock and Celtic. 2-1 to Fulham. They take the lead against Stoke. Harrison Reed with the goal in the 84th minute. The difference so far. Roofs with a big kick for Sunderland up towards Mayenda. Header won by Makosso. Vaulks trying to keep away from the pressure. Siddiqui wins a free kick. It's going to be a foul and a free kick for Oxford. Taken quickly with a switch out to the left. Brought down well by Ruskin. who's needed to release it. He slipped on the ball. And it's now with Tabby, who's then tripped from behind by Ruben Ruskin. And that's going to be a free kick for Sunderland, well won by the Ivorian. Just got himself twisting and turning, couldn't get himself out of trouble there. Ruben Ruskin on loan from Huddersfield. Did score in the opening game for them against Leyton Orient in League One. Just his third appearance for them since joining on loan towards the end of the window. Started against Coventry in the 0-0 draw and then came off the bench at half-time against Norwich in midweek. Tabby, the winger, into the halfway line now to Hume. No one closing him down at the moment. Back to Tabby. Driving forward, in between two Oxford United players. Still with the Ivorian winger. Tabby will go for the shots, and it's just wide. Certainly showing glimpses. Jocelyn Tabby, signed on a 4.5-year deal in the January window from the Israeli Football League. No one stopping him having the shot, and he's just about a yard wide. Probably should have done slightly better, really. At least on target. Long ball for Oxford. Headed up into the air by Mukiele. Headed back forward by Volks. Helped on by Imaku. Volleyed though by 09. And it's brilliantly defended by Brown. Heading it to his goalkeeper. Not done much wrong really, the two centre-backs. Just one of them give a penalty away. Just very, very silly to give away as the glance ball on by Lancashire can't be reached by Romney. And that's going to be a Robin Roofs ball. We've played half of the added on time. Robin Roofs rolls it in front of him. When he's going to kick the ball down the Sunderland left-hand side. Up into the heavens it goes. It's headed on by Mundle. Good flick on that. Maenda won't get there though ahead of Makosso. It's Romney. Keeps it down. Poeta. Back towards Romney. Kicked out of play, is it? No, kept in. After the kick from Gertruda. There's a foul there on Will Volks. Pulled down there, I think, by Mundle. And that's going to be a free kick for Oxford towards the halfway line. We've got 2 minutes left. The work they've put in terms of the defensive output has got them to this stage where they can push for a potential equaliser, but they've just lacked that attacking threat. Oxford United. It's going to be put straight in here by Volks. To the edge of the 18-yard box. It's headed on into the area by Brown. Towards Lancashire. Heads it back out of the box. And headed back in by Spencer. Headed up in the air by Siddiqui. Headed into by Poeta. Brown with the kick forward. And it's just gone wide of the post. Roofs was confident that was going wide. Because I think that was closer than he thought. Brown, who had the eventual shot towards goals, asking for a corner. Not given by the referee. 12 yards out. Just poked a shot to it. Wide it went. Don't think it took a nick. Didn't look like it did. And with a minute to go, there's a Sunderland goal kick. Looks like they're running out of time here, Oxford United. O'Nine with player of the match. Do not agree with that in the slightest. I think he's been quite poor, in all honesty. Romain Mundle has been the man for Sunderland for sure. Winning so many free kicks and looking like the biggest threat Sunderland have had all day, and they've not had many threats, only winning because of a penalty. Sunderland throwing with Dennis Sirkin on this near side, midway side the Oxford United half. 20 seconds to go. All they've got to do is kill the clock. Throwing goes down the line, headed forward by Makosso. And then volleyed away by Volks. This is probably the last chance. Big kick forward towards Lancashire. Battling with 09. 09 with the touch. Drops to Romney, but the foul goes against Lancashire, who cannot believe that's gone against him. And that will definitely be probably the last main action of the game. To be fair, the shirt pulling did start with Lancashire. I know that's frustrating for Oxford United, but he did have the first grab as the ball was first played forward. But certainly got a bright future in the game, Will Lancashire. Not saying he'll be a top Premier League striker, you never know, but he'll certainly make it in the Championship, which isn't a half bad level to make it as a professional footballer. Robin Roofs sends the ball long, and Sunderland escape an FA Cup upset in the 4th round away at Oxford United. They take home the win and a spot into the 5th round. They're into the 5th round for the first time in 11 years. They've had to work hard. Oxford United battled the whole way, just lacked real clear-cut chances at the end, which made it an easy lead to see through for Regis Lebris's side, who will know they've been in a game here. But the main takeaway for the Black Cats is they're through to the 5th round of the FA Cup. Unfortunately for Oxford United, they won't be able to reach the 5th round for the first time since 2017. But they've got a relegation fight to focus on now, but they can take pride in the fact that they've driven a Premier League side all the way at home. And as I've mentioned already, their last 3 championship wins have come against Leicester, Southampton and Ipswich. So when they're playing teams who have got much better quality than them, they can still beat them. So the fight won't be over, but they are 5 points off safety at the moment. They've got a big job to do under Matt Bloomfield, who's now just won 1 of his first 8 in charge. But there's certainly lots of positives to take as they try and stay up in the Championship. They've got 14 games to do it. It would be a real great escape if they did. But unfortunately today, their FA Cup journey comes to an end. Super commentary, mate. Thank you very much. Hope you did all enjoy that live commentary. It wasn't the best of games in terms of quality. It was very scrappy, but Oxford made it that way, and that's the only way they should have made it in terms of trying to stay in the game. If they gave Sunderland too much time, they probably would have played through them. But they made it really difficult. They were very physical with them. It was just that final third part of the game where Oxford just lacked that killer touch. But here at the Kazam Stadium, it's a 4th round fixture which has not given us an upset this time around. Oxford United made it difficult, battled all the way, but just fell short to Premier League side Sunderland, who go through to the 5th round of the FA Cup. They're doing well in the league. They're progressing in the FA Cup. This is a fantastic season for Regis Lebris. How far can Sunderland go? We'll wait and see. But they've got through here just about, as at the Kazam Stadium it finishes Oxford United 0, Sunderland 1.